Hey, y'all, I'm Shane Sams, the host of the Flipped Lifestyle Podcast. Super thankful and appreciative that you have tuned in to the podcast today. Here on the Flipped Lifestyle Podcast, we bring real members of the Flipped Lifestyle community onto the show. I give them a coaching call, and we let you listen in so you can figure out all the tips, strategies, and tactics you need to start, build, and grow an online business of your own and change your family's future. Really excited about my guest today. His name is Jason Atha. Jason came into the community on fire. He is super active in our community forums. He is super active in taking action and putting the pieces together. He's building his membership out. He started a website. He's been blogging, and he's built an amazing little email list. And whenever we see people taking action in the community, we bring them on the show and we say, hey, let's help them get to the next level. I really enjoyed this conversation with Jason. I know you're going to get a ton out of this. We go through the process of how Jason has built his business, how he's built his online presence, what he's doing right now to create content, build audience. And we're actually going to look at his launch, which was unsuccessful. He built a list. He rolled this out via email, and Jason didn't get any members. This is a common thing that happens sometimes. And there are two or three mistakes that a lot of people make when they launch their membership site that keep them from getting those first members. But hey, this game is like baseball. You take a swing, you miss, you go up to the plate and you try again. So I'm going to walk Jason through a relaunch process. I'm going to help him understand what he did right, what he did wrong, and what he can do in the future to go out there and start filling up his membership with members. We're also going to tackle some important mindset issues and obstacles today. We're going to go head on at imposter syndrome. If you feel like you're experiencing imposter syndrome, you're going to love my conversation with Jason. It's going to help you get over this so you can take your dream to the next level too. And plus, you know, I always close the Flipped Lifestyle Podcast with a Bible verse. Jason brought a Bible verse today that I cannot remember reading, but it really hit me right in the face. And man, it was super inspirational. I'm going to be sharing that with you later on in the show too. It's another value-packed episode of the Flipped Lifestyle Podcast. Super excited to help Jason take his online dream to the next level, and super excited to share this podcast with you to help you do the same. Thanks again for listening. Enjoy the show. Welcome to the Flipped Lifestyle Podcast, where life always comes before work. We're your hosts, Shane and Jocelyn Sams. We're a real family that figured out how to make our entire living online. And now we help other families do the same. Are you ready to flip your life? All right, let's get started. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Flipped Lifestyle Podcast. It is great to be back with you again today. As always, I'm super excited to help another member of the Flipped Lifestyle community start, build, and grow an online business of their own to change their family's future. And I am pumped today to talk to maybe one of the most active forum members of all time, Jason Atha. What is going on, man? How you doing,
Hey,
buddy?
buddy. Hey, Shane. Good to be here, man. Excited. This is awesome.
It's good to have a Kentucky guy and a Georgia guy together, not at a football game where we're mad at each other, and we can y'all, and we can just say y'all and have accents, and it'll be fine. Everybody's okay with it, man.
Plenty of y'alls in the conversation.
Plenty of y'all's coming today, guys, on the Flip Lifestyle Podcast. So, Jason, tell everybody a little bit about you. I know something about your background and from seeing you in the community, but tell everybody a little bit about you, your background, and what it is you're trying to do online.
Yeah. So I grew up in Georgia, pretty much been here my entire life. Went to college at Georgia Tech, had an opportunity to play baseball there, which was super fun. And,
really cool. Really cool.
A little bit of experience in there. My competitiveness and in playing sports kind of led me into sales. So I've been to sales for 22 plus years now. We still live in Georgia, my wife and I, and two beautiful young girls. So we're all into travel, softball, and all that kind of stuff. So lots of fun. But, from an online business standpoint, I've been really trying to take from my sales experience and share that with the world, help people be successful in sales. I've been blessed to be able to do that for the past 20 plus years and want to help other people. So that's kind of where I'm at.
Now, you got an interesting background here. Back in the financial crisis, says you got laid off the day before your first daughter was due. Like, gosh, man, tell me more about that, dude.
Yeah, brutal. So I'd been in the financial business. I've been in the banking business for several years at the time. And, the crisis hit. You can probably remember the market collapsed.
Oh yeah.
I was in commercial real estate for the banking business, and literally it just collapsed. And I didn't, I saw the market changes. I honestly didn't see the layoff coming. And it was brutal. Like, she was due to be born the next day. Ended up being born 10 days later, but laid off on Friday. She was due on Saturday. And
oh my gosh.
Not the best situation, but hey, man, God blesses you in weird ways. And looking back on it, it was probably a huge blessing. And I got to spend 10 weeks at home with my new daughter and my wife that I would have not gotten had that not happened. So
that's amazing, man.
It was a financial struggle, but it was good in the end.
Good memories either way. Yeah. Right now, it's funny. I remember the financial crisis, and as we've all just gone through this pandemic, and we've seen, the pandemic. There's a lot of similarities, man. I remember when I was driving through my hometown in the financial crisis back then. I just felt so lucky that I was a school teacher because I had tenure and I was good. And, I knew the government would lag behind the economy and whatever layoffs or things happen. Yeah. But I just remember building after building being emptied and business after business going out of business. And, and all the for sale signs and all of the houses as the mortgage crisis, started coming down on people. Yeah. That was, the pandemic kind of overrides it a little bit in our brains, but that was a scary time, dude. And to have a baby coming. Oh yeah. Gosh, man,
it was scary, man. It was real scary, and I can't say enough about it. But looking back on it, it looks like it was a blessing. But hey, it was tough.
Catastrophes. My story starts with a catastrophe. Yeah, with my son and some. We found out that he was being mistreated in a daycare center and all that. My boss and but I look back and I actually was just on a podcast earlier this morning. And we were talking about how it's funny how if you just don't let circumstances themselves be good or evil, you just allow them to be the circumstances that you're going through.
Yep.
You can make decisions going forward and react to those things that will turn into something positive, no matter how negative the bad thing was. And that's really just mindset at that point.
Yep. It's all how you react to it, man. It really is. And
how'd you find Flipped Lifestyle?
I found it just through looking for podcasts one day. I had heard of you guys on Pat Flynn's podcast, and then just started looking for it, found it, and been listening to it ever since. And
this guy sounds like me. He's got the same accent I do.
Yeah. Tagged on to Membership Masters too, and been listening to that. So, just trying to pick up everything I can along the way. It's been good.
Awesome, man. So you're clearly you've bounced back. You're successful in sales. You're doing B2B sales.
Yep.
You've learned a lot of stuff. What has drawn you to online business? I always like to ask this question, especially to people who are in a job that they're good at and succeeding at. Why online business? And what have you built so far in your online business?
Yeah, so I think online business for a couple of things. It's one, to be able to control, my own kind of destiny, right? I've always thought about or wanted to start my own business. I just never could figure out what it was. I thought about all kinds of things over the past probably 15 years and just never landed on something that really made sense until I found you guys. And I started thinking, gosh, this is a perfect opportunity to kind of put things in my own hands and not potentially have to go through a corporate layoff again, which it's been a long time ago now, but I don't ever want to experience that again.
They come in cycles, man. That long time might be coming. You never know.
I know.
Right? But you made it through the pandemic. So if you can get through that, you can get through anything.
Right. So, ultimately that's what's the driver behind it, and wanting to be able to control my own schedule and do kind of what I want to do. The reason, I like sales and I've done it for a long time, but I do it because it allows me to do the other things that I really enjoy. Spending time with my family, going, taking vacations and doing all those fun things with those guys. That's what's most fun for me. And, to this point, I've built up, I started, with this particular online business back in January when Kajabi did their 45-day free trial.
Yep.
And I had tried something else about a year ago, Shane, not long after I had found you guys. But I learned it wasn't really a passion. So I wanted to make a shift for something else that was a little bit more of a passion of mine and being able to help people. So this became it. I've gotten about 100, I think there's 188 people on my email list.
Oh, it's grown.
And I think I made,
that's awesome.
Right. And it's been a lot. I think I did make a little bit of mistake in maybe not using or maybe using too many keywords on some of my ads. I made the mistake of Google recommends additional keywords, and I made the mistake of clicking, apply all. And I think a lot of those
maybe the emails you have collected, not all are great or something like that. They're not all the perfect avatar.
Yeah, there might be 25 to 50 who are probably the perfect avatar, but no sales yet. So I tried to launch the membership early April. No sales yet, which has been telling me that something's off. And I think it's probably copy to a certain extent, probably the wrong people on the list. Potential need to either narrow down my avatar more by the person standpoint, or maybe even taking out a piece of this sales process that I use that I'm most passionate about, and really making the focus on that one particular item. I don't know. I'm here for your advice too. So
yeah, man, we're going to talk about it, dude. We're going to talk about all of it. I love what I hear though, because this is exactly what we talk about in the community, is like, this concept of like your core priorities when you're starting this. This is something I've been touching on lately. I'm creating a new training for it, but it's like, when you can get on a mission to pay it forward, like, and help other people with something, which is what you're trying to do. When you're family first, that's your number one priority, and you can build the business around your family life. And then you find ways to accomplish your mission with things you're passionate about. Everybody wants to start over your passions and then flow from that. But that's the perfect combination you've got going. You're creating content. What kind of content are you creating? How did you get those emails? Just ads?
Yeah. I mean, basically just cold ads, Google cold ads. Yeah.
And I mean, your website?
The content on the website has been primarily blog posts.
Okay.
Not video blog posts, but I write something at least once to twice a week. And then the course that I built, is basically a 7-step process that I've used to be successful in sales. So
interesting. So you're blogging twice a week, is that what you said?
Yep. At a minimum once, and most weeks twice.
And you just what's your website?
Yeah, salescrushingplaybook.com.
That's a great name for a website. So like that. Okay, so we've got a couple things in place. We're creating consistent content. I love that you're doing more than one post a week. That's going to let you succeed twice as fast.
Yep.
Right. Is the website getting any traffic right now?
It is getting traffic, and more so recently. I started to do some retargeting advertising on Facebook. I'm not completely clear if that's the best place to be doing it, because it's B2B sales. Maybe something different might be better, like LinkedIn or something like that. But I got some questions about that too.
Okay.
But probably on average in the last week, 30 plus views per day.
Oh, good. I mean, it's starting to roll out.
Yeah, not a lot of clicks and that kind of thing though.
There never is going to be. Like, that's a great misnomer. Most people don't realize that, like, even on an ad, you're going to get 3 to 5% click-through rate if you're gold, right? Sure. And then even on your website, you're going to get 3 to 5% of those to opt in. So this is a numbers game, and the numbers almost always hold up industry over industry.
Right.
All right. So you've done a lot of work, man. So I just wanted to get all that out there, acknowledge your victory loves diligence.
Sure.
And you are being diligent, and you're doing the necessary things to build the foundation. You're getting some attention.
Right.
That's great. Now you've launched. Now you've got it out there. Now you got a whole new set of fears and challenges that you had to get over to even get to this point.
Yeah.
So like, what's going on internally right now? Like, what's like holding you back? Like, what do you think is like the big fears you have right now going forward?
Yeah. I mean, really it's, there's a couple of things. One is the discouragement, I guess, of not having sales, right? I mean, I know it's early, and but that's just something that's easy to latch onto from a discouragement standpoint. From a fear standpoint, I think everybody, I don't like to use that word, but I mean, I think ultimately leading a community that could get fairly large. I mean, if you think about it,
overwhelming a little bit.
Seeing myself, I guess, as an expert is a little bit of a challenge.
How long you been in sales?
22 years.
22 years, and you survived 2 financial collapses and global catastrophes. I'd call you an expert for anybody less than that. You know what I'm saying? That's a good one, man. Yeah, that expert enough one, man. It's so funny how it creeps into all our lives so much. And man, I'm experiencing it again, because I've started getting some bigger speaking opportunities lately.
Yeah.
And it's been a lot of hard work to get those things. Like, you don't just get on. Like, I applied for an event recently, and out of 600 applicants, they only took 10%.
Oh, wow.
And I got on this stage, and now I'm like, oh gosh, I've got to go up there and speak next to that dude and that lady. Who am I? Like, that thing creeps in, and it's coming back every time it does it, man.
Yeah, it definitely does for me, for sure.
So feel like it's okay to have that. How did you launch? Did you just send an email to your list?
Yeah. I mean, I basically had put a kind of a countdown on the website, and then sent an email out to the entire list, and did a launch, and kind of gave a special promote kind of a founding member launch price. I think it was 50% off. I think that's what I did. And that's where I had hoped to get some traction, and just didn't. And that's when I started thinking, maybe as I looked through the keywords that I was using, maybe I just didn't have the right people on the list.
Maybe. I also think too, like email. I mean, you're on my list. I'm a prolific email marketer.
Yeah,
right. I'm emailing everybody every day. What I mean? And trying to give as much value as I can, but also trying to convince people to join my stuff.
Yeah.
And I think but the problem is with launching on email with a small list, it doesn't always work out perfectly.
Yeah.
There's at the beginning of your journey, events are greater than emails, and emails are how you get people to events.
Got it.
And I have this concept. So one event that we all know of is a webinar, right?
Yeah.
You get the people to come to a free sales training, and then you sell your membership.
Yep.
And then you do that over and over and over again for 4 to 8 weeks, right? So basically you're like opening beta groups every 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Like beta 1, beta 2, beta 3, beta 4, trying to pick up people.
Yep.
So I think that might be what you need to fall back to, is kind of reopen or relaunch is, hey, I'm doing a free sales training, cost you nothing, come here. Then at the end you pitch, maybe even just pitch a free trial with a discount, just to get people in there and start taking action.
Yep.
Right. Challenges are events that they can do that. Like you can have a challenge for like 5-day challenge, crush your sales playbook. I'm going to walk you through the playbook in 5 days. Then the last day you pitch.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
Those events are usually superior to emails for launching. Email is good for stability and sustainability.
Okay.
So that's one thing we can kind of go back to the drawing board, but like also too, I teach this concept in the community about treating your beta members like one-on-one clients. Right. And you're a sales guy, you know this. Like one-on-one means I'm on the phone, I'm talking to you on Zoom, I'm working within the parameters of our relationship, but we're getting together, man.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We did 3 beta rounds for the Flipped Lifestyle community before our launch, right?
Yeah.
So we did like 20, 20, 20. And then we had 120 people join on a webinar, right?
Oh, wow. Yeah.
So all this was event-based. But man, those first 60 people, man, they got Shane and Jocelyn one-on-one. I mean, they were only paying the membership price, but oh my goodness, did they get the coaching? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I think that I've never really thought about it like this, but because you have this sales background, and anybody could really use this, I wonder if that could even be like pulled back beyond the joining. And I wonder if you would treat these people like you're selling them a car, like you're selling them a house, like you're selling a higher ticket thing. And it's more like, hey, what about some free strategy sessions? Like come to I'm having some 15 or 20-minute free strategy sessions. I'll go through your sales process, kind of like the audits that I do on people's websites in the community. But you would get on a Zoom call and you'd be like, well, let's try to sell you this membership at the end of this call. Right. Like maybe I don't know who your exact avatar is. You said business to business sales. So probably like copiers and whatever, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then you sell business to business.
Yeah.
Maybe you could get those people, maybe you could get a couple calls and then get them to join the membership and be like, look, I'm going to treat you like gold, you know?
So you're talking about maybe like using that as an email promote, sending it out to my email list to say, you need an event. Yeah. The event could be a 15-minute strategy session with you for now. That's not going to last forever. You don't do that forever. You do that for your first 50 people, then you got 50 members and you start going one to masses. Yeah. Right. Yeah. It could be a challenge for a week. It could be a webinar that you do every other week, period. You're going to do it for the next 27 weeks. Same webinar every 2 weeks. Right. Or a combination. You could like open it for some strategy sessions one week. The next week you do a webinar. The next week you do a challenge, start over. Take a week off and start over. Right. Live webinars, they keep those live.
Yeah. Live, man. Yeah. Okay. Like and the webinar doesn't change. It's like a sales pitch. You do the same. You just want to do the sales pitch to new people. Yeah. Sales pitch doesn't change. Yeah. So these events over emails are much better for launching. Email, but I mean, we don't abandon email. Email is like watering the seeds. Sure. Right. being
Yep.
relevant and present. But I think that would probably help you. There's got to be somebody on a 180 person list
I would think so.
that would love to do it. And you're a sales guy, man. Get in front of them.
Right. That's a good point. Yeah. I like the idea of doing a strategy session, 20 minutes.
I think that'd be your comfort zone for sure.
It would be. Listen to what they're struggling with and just
man, and get those questions and keep writing them down. That way, when you do the webinar, your FAQ that you do on the webinar is gold. It's like actual things.
Yep.
And just present it as straight up, like, I want to help you go through the sales process. If you're struggling, I would say, like, I think the subject line would be something like, where are you struggling in sales, or what's frustrating you in your sales job, or something really, really powerful, like, and then when you get in there, be like, hey, I've been in sales for 20 years. I want to pay it forward.
Yeah.
I'm here to help people. Why don't you get a strategy session with me? I'll literally listen to your sales pitch, give you some feedback. And then at the end, you're like, give them the feedback, help them, and be like, hey, you need to get the sales crushing playbook.
Yeah.
Because that's where it's going to be at.
Yeah.
For you.
Yeah. Yeah.
That might help. Let's try to get like 10 members out of that, like that process of just putting in a little extra work now to scale later.
So how often do you do it? So say I send that out and I get one person, right, to take me up on it. Do I send that same kind of thing to the email list again in a week and see if somebody else does it? Or
how many doors do you knock on, and how many calls do you make?
All the time.
All the time, baby. I have a rule. I'm emailing my list every day, and I'm selling something every day. It's the same thing. Like now, I rotate. We get more. I don't want to say complicated. We get more sophisticated as we get in our process. So, one week it might be this promotion. Next week it might be this. So you might be like, all right, this week I'm opening up for sales calls. I got 4 calls for 2 hours on Friday from 12 to 2. Yep. And then next week it might be, hey, I'm doing a live webinar.
Yep.
Come and learn the sales crushing process. The next week it might be, hey guys, we're going to do a 3-day challenge. We're going to, get, 2 extra sales this week. I'm going to show you how to do it.
Yeah.
Right. And you just tell them what to do Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. By Friday, you got extra sales, and you just rotate through that. Then you open some more strategy sessions and you go the next route. So you're trying this, get your list excited about the free challenge and help them make some sales, prove the concept. Then you're trying to do a webinar to actually sell the thing. And then you're getting people one-on-one, and you're just rotating this wave through it. That way you don't get ad blindness in your email list.
Sure. Yeah, sure.
You're mixing that in with, hey, check out my latest blog post.
Yep.
Right.
Change the headline occasionally, something
change
like
the headline. Yeah. Every time you do it, change the headline. Like how many ways can you say you're not, what's frustrating you? What's complicated? What's your biggest problem right now? What are you struggling with? It's the same question.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
You just rotate it every time you do it.
Yeah. Got it. Cool.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Sometimes, a lot of times I'll use the same email just with a different subject line. I do that all the time, and it totally works, because you didn't open the last one. I'm just trying to get you to open the stupid thing half the time.
Yeah. Right.
Right. You didn't even see the last time I sent this email.
So.
But that should help you kind of shake the tree, let an apple or two fall out. Okay, and once we get one, we can find 100 more.
Yeah, we can find more, right? I mean, I figure if there's 180 people that want to join a list, there's got to be somebody who's willing to buy something.
Got to be somebody on that list. It's just about getting them in front of it.
Yeah.
Okay, so all right, so let's say that's going to be a relaunch kind of plan. Going to try to do events, not emails, to try to get more people, to get somebody in. We just need one. Talk to a human, and you'll know everything you need to know about the next human.
Right.
What else are you struggling with right now in the business, or strategy, or tactics, or mindset struggles?
Yeah, I think the biggest struggle right now, Shane, I almost called you Sam.
Well, we were talking off air. We were talking off air about how we have these short names, and everybody also always messes our names up. And I think I inceptioned you right there and planted. Everybody calls me Sam. They always do. I don't know why. So that was my fault, not your fault.
You planted that seed. No, I think the biggest struggle is the process that I kind of go through. There's really 7 steps. There's shifting your mindset. There's setting clear goals. There's taking control of your time. There's paying attention to communication, being a prolific giver, smart prospecting, and then relentless follow-ups. That's kind of my 7 steps in the process. There's one of those that's about communication. And I shared some of this on the member call and questions about that.
Yeah.
That's the one I'm really passionate about. So I've struggled with, do I need to be trying to sell this process, or do I need to focus on that one piece of it that I'm passionate about that's had so much of an impact for me over the whole thing. And maybe it's just,
I mean, if you'll notice, like if you come to my webinars or you go to any of my sales pages, I don't spend a lot of time on the blueprint. I just don't. I don't talk about all the. I mean, I've got it down to look. You know, I'm going to help you start, build, and grow an online business. So wherever you are on that spectrum, maybe you've already started, you need help building it. Maybe you've already built and you need help growing it. Right? Like I'm going to get you. Yeah. And I just focus totally on the results of the thing or the thing I'm most passionate about, right? Like I do talk a lot about creating content because I love creating content. I create more content. My team it kills me sometimes because I record so much content. They're like, what are you doing? Slow down, you know? And like, but I love it. And that's what I know how important it is to making money online. Right. Yep. I bought this course recently too, is by this guy named, I think his last name was Love. Someone's going to write in and be like, oh, that's so famous. You should know his name. It was called Never Lose Your Voice Again, because I'm speaking and talking so much. Oh yeah. That I lose my voice. Right. And I bought this course. He never once said anything about what was in the course. He just talked about how singers and speakers and professors, and if you lose your voice, you've lost your livelihood. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, dang, that is true, man. I had to cancel 3 podcasts one day because I lost my voice. And I'm like, I lost money that day. Yeah. You know? And then he talked about, what if you could never lose your voice again? How much better would that make your life? Like that, I think the results of what come from your process are way more important than your process. Yeah. Right. Yeah. The process comes after they are convinced you can give them the result that you need. And then you pick and choose those things. Like, for example, you know, how I flow in my life is, I know that life, the way God made life, I don't know why it works this way, but God has you, and he's got your mental health, your physical health, and your spiritual health. Yeah. And he's got your relationship with others in the world, and he's got work. I mean, we were born to work. God put us here to do work, right? And those 3 things overlap. And when you see those things overlap, like where you and others overlap is your family, right? Mm-hmm. And where you and other people outside of your family overlap is usually your mission, like your team and your customers and your people in your community. Mm-hmm. And then like those passions are over here supporting all those other things. Mm-hmm. So I like to focus on my passions as long as it advances my mission. Sure. As long as it advances my family. So the communication part, you're so passionate about it. Like, if you could just highlight that one part in a great way, like, man, the biggest thing I ever did was learn communication. And like, maybe that just becomes your free, what you talk about. Yeah. And that pulls them into the process. Right. You know, but it's not like you got to be like, step 4 is communications. And this is my best step, you know, like you just be like, God, I'm passionate about communication. I'm passionate about blogging, you know? Yeah. Well, you know, something you said, I was listening to one of your podcasts. It hit me so hard when he said the joy is in the job and not in the result. Oh yeah, man. And that piece I'm talking about is the part I'm really passionate about. So I gotta figure out a way to let that come out without focusing so much on the 7 steps. Yeah. The process isn't super important. You can have individual items from that list. Like I do a webinar about email marketing because I'm passionate about email marketing. Yeah. Right. I like to talk about it. You know, you can pull those things out. And I've got this new thing. I was coaching up a buddy of mine the other day, and he was talking about some, you know, his kids are graduating high school, and he's probably listening to this actually. His kids are graduating high school, and, you know, his life's, you know, we were talking about his work and his job. Great business owner, great guy, great leader. And he was talking about, like, we were talking about the concepts that people put out in the marketplace, like get rich, 4-hour work week, and all that stuff. And we started talking about that joy in the job. And like, I have this other question I've been asking people lately, like, forget doing something that creates income that you get to work 4 or 5 hours a week. I've done that. It sucks. I'm telling you, you get bored. It's not cool. I'm at the point now where I'm like, I don't ever want to retire. I want to find things that I love so much I could do them 50 hours a week when my kids are gone. And I will be so happy till the day I die. Right. Writing, talking, like, to people, like, what are these things you love? And that's where the joy is found in online business, is when you really get to have the control to balance your family's life with, you can't even stop thinking about the thing you love so much that you get at work. And it's amazing, you know? Yeah. So yeah, man, that's the stuff you want. That's where your free content comes from, is that point of passion. Sure. That's where it'll flow out, where the business becomes so fun. You can't stop thinking about it, Yeah, man.
And I think that's the piece. Like that's the piece that would do it for me. And I just got to figure out how to get that to come out. And
I would start at the communications piece.
Yeah.
Yeah. Our first instinct is usually the right thing.
Yeah.
Like that one part of the process you're so passionate about, building relationship, communicating well.
Yeah.
Just talk about that like crazy, and people will love it and get results just from that. And then they'll be like, well, what else is in that process? If this is this good, what else is in there?
Yeah. And I've started a little bit of that. I've changed some of the headlines on the website, that kind of thing, to focus on that piece. Cause it's, it's when you're passionate about something, it's easier for the information to come out.
Yes.
And it's easier for people to latch onto it when they can tell that you're really passionate about it. So that's the piece that I really wanted to latch onto. I just wasn't sure till I'm hearing you talk that was the right way to go.
Yeah. And I mean, you say the right way to go, I'm kind of like you, like what makes it easy, right? Is it right? Is it wrong? I mean, other people probably succeed telling the whole process of everything they do, and it's step by step, whatever.
Yeah.
But I do think that for most people that I've seen, when you get to talk about the thing you love, and when you get to serve the people that you really want to serve, there is almost no end to your motivation and will and energy. Right. And that's really what online business has to be.
Sure.
Because if it's not going to work. Why do you blog? Do you like to talk on have you just not had time to podcast or YouTube or?
Yeah, I haven't had time to podcast or YouTube. I mean, I blog, I like to write. So that's one of the things. I don't know if I get traction from that or not. I mean, I definitely get some clicks from the emails that people go out. I don't get as many opens as I would like to on that, probably close to 10 or 12% in most cases.
Don't even look at your open rates. They're not even true. I don't even look at it. Yeah. But the Gmail, for example, masks tracking pixels. You know how you get on an email and it'll say, click to view pictures.
Yeah.
So these email providers block the tracking pixel in an email is literally a 1x1 white pixel.
Yeah.
It's an image. It's a JPEG.
Yeah.
And when that email calls back to the server, that's how they know you opened it, because they want to see that picture.
Right.
If you don't click that button, they don't know you opened it. So I don't even look at open rates. I look at click-through rates, but I don't look at open rates at all.
Gotcha.
Because that'll just make you depressed if you look at that every day.
Well, the click-through rates.
Click-through is true because they came to your site. You can verify it.
Yeah.
So don't even look at that. But like, you're such a well-spoken guy, and you've got a great personality. And Jocelyn and I have a saying: if you're from the South, you get an automatic 10% trust bonus, and sometimes y'all doesn't translate through text.
Right.
You know what I mean? But like, I would even say, like at your sales job, like if something happens, like even little quick like Instagram videos or something, like just jump on for a minute, like, oh man, I just had this great talk with this guy, had this objection, talked him through it, used my communication skills, textbook sales crushing playbook, and stuff like that. Like if there was some kind of medium to let your personality inject into it, I think it would serve you well.
Okay, cool.
You know what I'm saying? But it doesn't have to be YouTube. It can be Instagram video. It can be Twitter. It can be, well, Twitter doesn't have a lot of video, but like Instagram and Facebook are usually the two best ones because you can go live so easy. Yeah.
I did create a sales crushing playbook kind of page on Facebook. I don't have an Instagram account yet, but I guess I could do that. That sounds like it would make sense.
When you got the Facebook page, just go live on it. You know? Stuff can go sales. Just getting to know people better. Just have some kind of element like that. Because the more your person, this is definitely a leadership space where Jason's my guy. There's a lot of people teach sales, but man, I like Jason.
Yeah.
It's like I like Shane. Shane's my guy. There's a lot of people teach what I teach, but I like Shane. That's what you need to build into your brand to make it grow. What was your? You had something about LinkedIn too. Were you asking a question?
Yeah. So my question about LinkedIn. So from a B2B sales standpoint, that's where B2B salespeople hang out for the most part, right? So my struggle there, and maybe it drops into the fear bucket that you were talking about earlier, is I still have a full-time job, and I don't want to come across the wrong way with promoting myself on LinkedIn with this kind of side business, right? So I'm just confused as to how to handle that without it creating some kind of conflict. I don't know that it really would. It's just a fear that I have, putting that on LinkedIn. And
do you have contractually anything that says you're not allowed to have your own business?
No.
Okay, that's fine. I'd say a lot of sales guys probably sell for other people too.
Sure.
There's always the open channel of like communicate with people. Be like, man, I started this blog about sales. say I started a podcast about sales or whatever you start.
Yeah.
Like that could be, like be clear, be open, communicate,
Sure. Yeah.
And it's also like, you just love talking about sales,
Yeah.
What I might do too is like on LinkedIn, like you could put things on there like your sales experience, but you could take the company you work for off of it, just so it's not even there. I mean, you want to be clear. You don't ever want to jeopardize your 9 to 5. Like like your livelihood is the most important thing in the world.
Sure. Yeah, sure.
But at the same time, dang, man, if you went live on Instagram and posted videos and text there, that's going to be the people you want to read this stuff.
Probably so. Yeah. You probably will. Yeah.
So this is common. I mean, we had this problem. I was selling my playbook and I was coaching on Friday nights. So, I mean, I was like, is my head coach going to get mad that I'm giving away our defense's playbook? I mean, they still don't know the plays I'm calling.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So I thought about that. Like people I know we played got our playbook.
Yeah.
Right. But they didn't know our signals. I didn't give those away. So how they know what was being called.
That's another thing too. Yeah. Like giving away too much for free. Right. That's another.
Man, hey, listen, everything that can be taught or has ever been taught is on the internet for free right now.
Yeah. Right.
But the difference is I show you where it is.
Right.
When you come in and you're like, you come into my museum and you're like, I want to see this painting. And I've been searching for it my whole life. I want to see a mummy. All right. Without my museum, you have to fly to Egypt, dig up a tomb, get the mummy. I brought one here and we got it back in the third hall to the left. So all that the content, man, anything can be free. I'm not worried about that. But I mean, LinkedIn's powerful, dude. I mean,
I think it would be.
That's a risk reward, fear, whatever. But honestly, if you go through a worst case scenario thing, it's like, is it really a big deal or is it just a ghost you're making up in your head?
Probably that.
Yeah,
probably just a ghost. Yeah,
dude. I mean, you can build that's where your people are. I mean,
there's no doubt that's where they are. Yeah.
B2B sales, type it in. You're going to find all kinds of people in that space. Well, listen, let's just kind of circle back and sum it up. Cause I mean, we've covered a lot of ground already. Right.
Yep.
Imposter syndrome thing, man. Come on, man. You're legit. I mean, you know what you're doing. You put food on the table and you've been doing it for 20 years and you've survived 2 huge crises. Any person in their first 5 years of sales would be probably very appreciative to have somebody like you in their corner.
Yeah.
I do think that stick with what you love, blog like crazy, but add something to it where they can get to know you better.
Yep. Cool.
And it may be LinkedIn. LinkedIn has live, LinkedIn has video, LinkedIn has things you can start building personality, building an audience there.
Yep.
And then let's focus on events, not emails, to relaunch this thing over and over every 2 weeks for the rest of the year.
Yep.
And just do beta groups.
Yep.
Treat those people like one-on-one clients for now. And let's shake the apple tree, man, and find a member or two on that list.
Yeah,
Sound
man.
Good?
This is great, man. I appreciate it. This has been a pleasure to speak with you. And hey, I'm ready to get going.
Hey, we're here, man. That's what we're here for.
Cool.
All right, guys, that wraps up my coaching call with Jason Atha. I hope that you learned something today that can help you succeed in the online business world as well. And hey, maybe you're like Jason. Maybe you've been building something online for a while. Maybe you're not quite getting the traction that you'd hoped for. Or maybe you tried to launch a membership site. You tried to launch an online business and things just didn't work out. We would love to help you get back in the game, get back out there and take another shot at it inside the Flipped Lifestyle community. We have courses and trainings and everything you need to help you start, build, launch, and grow a successful online business. We have amazing resources in our Flipped Lifestyle Blueprint. We've got active community forums where people like Jason and so many other family-focused entrepreneurs from around the world hang out every single day. We have an amazing team in there supporting our community, and we have multiple member calls and live events every single month for our members to help them succeed. Whether you're just starting out, whether you've tried and failed and you're ready to get back on the wagon and try it again, or whether you're ready to scale your membership site, we have all the information and resources you need to do that inside of the Flipped Lifestyle community. New members can try the Flipped Lifestyle community right now for $0. That's right. We give everybody a 30-day free trial. We're not like all these other gurus that make you pay tens of thousands of dollars to come in the door. We practice what we preach. We drink our own Kool-Aid. And we are so proud of what we have created inside of the Flipped Lifestyle community that we let everybody try it in their first month for free. All you have to do to start your free trial is go to flippedlifestyle.com/free. That's FLIPPED lifestyle.com/free. And you can join all of our members. You can join Jason. You can join me and Jocelyn and our team inside today. All right, guys, we are about out of time today, but before we close the Flipped Lifestyle podcast, we love to share a Bible verse with you on the show. My wife Jocelyn and I get a lot of our inspiration and motivation from the Bible, and there is a ton of stuff in there, guys, about living life and running a business. And I'm super excited today because Jason has brought a Bible verse that he would like to share with the audience. Jason, take it away.
You got it. Proverbs 11:26, Shane. A lot of inspiration for me, having been in sales for a long time. It says, people curse those who hoard their grain, but they bless the one who sells in time of need. So I think sales sometimes gets a bad rap. Straight from the truth right here. Sales is a good thing, and it's not good to hoard it.
That's right. He could have said gives it away freely, but he didn't.
Right.
He said sells it because you know why? The worker deserves his wages, baby.
That's right.
That's in the Bible too, man. Awesome stuff.
Yeah.
All right, guys, that is a wrap for this episode of the Flipped Lifestyle Podcast. We appreciate everyone that listens to the show so much. Thank you for listening today. If we've brought value into your life, could you please go to Apple Podcasts and leave us a 5-star review? That really helps us get the word out, and it helps trigger that algorithm so more people can discover the Flipped Lifestyle Podcast and the Flipped Lifestyle community. Make sure you subscribe, download a few episodes. Heck, go tell a friend or two about the show. I'll be back with you again next time with more great content and to introduce you to another awesome member of the Flipped Lifestyle community. Until then, get out there, take action, and do whatever it takes to flip your life. We'll see you then. Nobody knows my real name. I've been Sam for my entire life.
Oh, yeah?
Because it's Shane Sams.
Yeah.
And everyone thinks my name is Sam. I don't know what it is, man.
That's funny.
And my brother's name is Shannon Sams. And my brother, he was going to be named Sean Sams, but my doctor begged my mom not to do it. So she named him Aaron.
That's hilarious.
Yeah,